regarding an incident that occurred in Joplin yesterday. Shortly, Chief Pearson is going to be up here to brief everybody on the incident that occurred yesterday. However, before we get started, there's just a couple of things I'd like to ask. Number one, the Joplin Police Department released the name of our juvenile victim yesterday in an effort to help locate our juvenile victim. We're asking that any media sites or anybody that's airing the story, please continue to redact the name of our juvenile, as our juvenile is a victim. Additionally, this is still considered an active, open investigation. So some information right now is still being investigated. Some information is not able to be released. So we're going to do our best to give you as much as we possibly can right now. However, if there's any questions that can't be answered, please follow up with our offices at the Joplin Police Department or the City PIO's office, and we'll do our best to work with you all to get you the information that you need in the most timely manner. We're going to start this press conference in just a moment, but what I will ask you to do is hold questions until the very end, and we'll have Chief Pearson and Ryan Talkin available to answer questions regarding what we can on this open, active investigation. And we ask that you keep your questions relevant to the case that we're talking about today. All right. I'd like to turn it over to Chief Pearson at this time.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming. This afternoon, I'm going to tell you a story that illustrates the best of Joplin and some of the worst behaviors that we have seen in the city of Joplin. I want to say the best of Joplin because the good part of this story shows how the good people of Joplin came together. We formed a team, and we did what needed to be done to help a child in need. In Joplin, we care about one another. We look out for one another. We take care of each other. We are good neighbors. We have an incredible network of nonprofits which offer support for struggling families and individuals. No child in this community should ever suffer without appropriate medical support, proper nutrition, or without the other means of support that their families are supposed to offer. Now let's go into some of the bad things that have occurred in this case. I'm going to tell you about some individuals that are under arrest right now who've been charged with child abuse in addition to animal abuse. But it's important for you guys to understand that's not who we are as a community. This is a one-off. This is something that is very atypical for the city of Joplin to experience tragic stories like this. It's not who we are as a community. The vast majority of people in Joplin love, nourish, and protect their kids. The health and safety of our children is always paramount and should always come first. And to anyone out there who is struggling to support your children, we have a vast array of nonprofits, and you can also call the Joplin Police Department's co-responder unit, who will respond and help you through life's toughest struggles in parenthood and in life. Now that I've said that, on behalf of the Joplin Police, I want to thank the Joplin Fire Department, the Joplin Health Department, their Department of Animal Control Division, Met's ambulance staff, the Jasper County Sheriff's Office, JASCO Dispatch, Joplin's 911 dispatch personnel, and a few dozen employees of the CPKC Railroad who dropped what they were doing yesterday to help out in the search for this missing child. Fire Chief Fizell and I witnessed the incredible coordination and cooperation across several agencies. It's a testament to the fact that this community cares deeply about the well-being of our children. Now, before I get into the narrative of what happened yesterday and the investigation which followed, I need to ask the news media for one important piece of cooperation and help. Yesterday, we named the little girl in our briefings, in our Facebook posts, as we were initially beginning to search for the child. And this is normal when a child is reported missing and we don't have any leads. We put out that particular bit of information. But since then, since the child has been found and is safely in our custody, we would like to ask that you redact her name from any current or future posts so that we can protect her privacy as she is a juvenile. Thank you for your cooperation in helping us with this because, as always, we want to protect the identities and the innocence of our juveniles and our children. Now let's get into the specifics of what happened yesterday. On August 9th at approximately 7:45 a.m., Joplin police officers responded to a missing juvenile from 610 East Poole Street. The juvenile female was described as having special needs, including autism. When we got the call, she'd already been missing for approximately 1 hour. So that heightened our sense of importance on this case. She was described to us as only wearing a diaper and possibly being in the area of Landreth Park. Due to several factors, such as the heat, the amount of time that she'd been missing already, and her special needs, an extensive search was launched, including over 50 personnel across several agencies. The juvenile was located after approximately a 2.5-hour search by authorities near Main Street and B Street at approximately 10:20 a.m. She appeared malnourished to officers and was provided medical attention there at the scene. She didn't appear to us to have any injuries, but the conditions of her health were unacceptable. Officers then responded back to the home and began the investigation. When they got to the home, they were able to determine that the living conditions at the home were totally unsafe and unfit for human habitation. The detectives at the scene also obtained information that the juvenile had been sleeping in a locked dog kennel every night for an extended period of time. Also in the house, we located approximately 80 animals of various species, and the director of the Joplin Health Department is here, and he manages the Animal Control Division. So if we have any specific questions that relate to the animals that were involved, we can direct those to him after I'm finished with my statements. JPD worked with the Jasper County Children's Division to protect this child from further abuse once we realized what was going on, the extent to which these things were happening. The child was taken into protective custody, and further resources are currently being offered to the child to make sure that we have provided for all her immediate needs. We are doing everything humanly possible to provide support for this child. All the living animals in the home were turned over to the Joplin Humane Society for medical attention and ongoing care. It's important to note that the homeowner surrendered ownership of all the animals, all the living animals that were in the house, and as animal control makes those animals safe and makes those animals available for adoption, that information will be forwarded to you. No bond warrants were issued by the Jasper County Prosecutor's Office for all the adults who lived in the house. They've been charged with animal abuse as well as child abuse and neglect. Municipal code violations may also be filed as well. The following 4 individuals are now in custody: Crystal Ross, age 46, of Joplin; Shane Ross, age 50, of Joplin; Hannah Ross, age 25, of Joplin; and Megan Ross, age 19, also of Joplin. Again, folks, it's important to realize and to get it out there that this is not normal behavior for citizens of the city of Joplin. This is an anomaly. This is not who we are as a people. This is not who we are as a city. Many of my staff who were on scene at this location say that this represented one of the worst cases and incidents of child abuse that they have seen in their time here in Joplin. So if anyone in the public ever sees or believes that there might be child abuse occurring, here's what we ask that you do. If you see something, say something. Call the Joplin Police right away with your suspicions. Or you can call the Missouri Child Abuse and Neglect Hotline at 1-800-392-3738, and you can also report abuse online. You can also report suspected animal abuse to local law enforcement or to the Joplin Animal Control Division. Again, we want to thank all of our partners who came out and assisted us in this investigation, in this search, specifically the railroad personnel who, again, stopped what they were doing when they realized that there was a child in trouble, and they assisted us in the search. And there were several helpful citizens who came out and joined in the search as well. You guys are going to have some questions, and some of those questions I'll be able to answer today. Some of those questions I won't be able to answer. The reason that I can't answer some of those questions for you is because this is an open, active investigation. There are things that I can't disclose right now that would hinder the investigation or the successful prosecution of this case. So if you ask me a question, if I can't answer it, I will. If I can't answer it, I will let you know that, and I will also let you know why I can't answer it. So at this time, if there are any questions of either myself or Director Talkin, we'll be more than happy to accept those at this time.
So we've got 5 people in this then? 5
There's 4 people under arrest.
4 people under arrest?
Correct.
And then the juvenile was living in the home. Total of 5 people living?
Correct, 5 in the house that we know of.
What's the relationship with the juvenile and the adults arrested?
The 2 adults, age 46 and 50, were the caregivers, the parents, and the 25 and the 19-year-old siblings.
And how did the child first become noticed that they weren't around the juvenile? Where did that first call came in that they were?
Are you asking how the people in the house realized that the child was gone?
Yeah, I'm not up on the details, so.
I haven't received any information on what led up to the people inside the house realizing that the child was gone, but the child had been gone for approximately 1 hour before they called the police. I don't know if that was the time that they were using to try to search for the child themselves or what the situation was then, but we didn't get the call till about an hour after the child had gone missing.
Can you tell us if you've been called to this residence before regarding this child?
No, we have not had any calls for service to that residence regarding the child, no.
Can you tell us what kind of animals they were? Were they dogs, cats?
There was a variety. There were dogs, there were cats, there were turtles, there were rabbits, there was chickens. Director Talkin can speak more specifically to that, but there was a variety of species.
You said she, or the juvenile was in a kennel? Can you describe it? Was it portable
Yeah.
or was it?
The information we've received so far at this initial stage of the investigation is that for an extended period of time, and we don't know exactly how long that is, but it's many months, up to maybe even over a year, the child was kept in a locked dog kennel every night.
Were there animals in the kennel with her?
Not that we are aware of, no.
Earlier you mentioned about the amount of living animals in the home. Can you guys speak on how many deceased animals were maybe removed from the residence?
I'll let you speak to that.
Sure, I can speak on that. We found a total of 6 animals deceased. All of those were poultry.
Thank you.
Inside the residence?
The combination of both inside and also outside.
What was the purpose of having all these animals? Was just for pets or were they raising them for money? What do we know?
At this point, your guess is as good as ours. But I've looked at some of the body camera footage of some of the officers that went into the home, and the conditions inside the home were deplorable. There were stacks of dirty clothes, knee-high. There were animals, some in cages, some roaming free in the house and in the basement. This was one of the worst cases of hoarding and deplorable conditions that we've seen.
What are the, go ahead.
So you're talking like fecal matter everywhere? Like
There
animal
was
waste?
feces, urine throughout the home.
Can you talk to us about the condition of the living quarters from the outside? Was there any like indication just from the outside that this situation might be going on, or was it once you guys entered the property that you realized that?
Yeah, if you look at the property from the outside, there was nothing that would distinguish it from any of the other properties in the neighborhood. But once you got inside, then that's when you walked into the house of horrors.
Did the child have bites on the child have bites on it, or are there injuries?
None that we saw. There were no visible injuries at the scene. However, she was transported to a medical facility so that she could be checked out.
Do you know how she's doing today compared to yesterday? Or?
I don't have that information. Sorry.
Can you say how old she was? I didn't get to see that. I missed the.
She was approximately 11 to 12 years old.
And those little dog kennels, portable dog kennels, they come in various sizes. Was she in a large one, or was she?
From the camera footage that I saw, she was in a wire dog kennel that was designed for a larger breed dog. But it really doesn't matter because she's not supposed to be in a dog kennel
Exactly.
of any sort.
Right, exactly, I get you, but still.
Yeah.
Did she ever go to school or do you know?
We don't have that information right now. All right.
What are we doing with the animals as of right now? Brian, can you-
Sure. So, as of right now, all of the animals are at the Joplin Humane Society, and I want to say thanks to them as well. They were able to take all of those animals. They are currently there. The residents, they gave up the possession of those animals, so they are up there now. If anybody wants information on those, as far as if they are available, they would need to contact the Joplin Humane Society for that.
Does this put a strain burden on Humane Society when they take these?
I can't speak for them totally, but yeah, anytime, there's 80 animals that are brought, especially animals that are not typical animals, poultry, things of that nature, sure, it's going to put a strain on them. Of the animals, the majority of them that we removed there were various forms of chickens, ducks, quail, things of that nature.
Were they allowed to have animals like this?
In Joplin city limits, you are allowed with special permit to have poultry. There are requirements, number requirements, setback requirements from a neighboring residence, and also restrictions on the square footage size of the pens.
Couple more questions.
Anybody else?
Yeah, what about the condition of the animals? Were they healthy, or were they malnourished as well, and whatnot?
Yeah, so overall, the body condition on the animals were acceptable. There was 2 animals. One has some kind of possible deformity. The other one was extremely matted. The concern was the conditions. The conditions inside and outside both, stagnant algae water, trash, filth, rubbish, just deplorable.
One more question.
Has the state or anybody else been called in from your standpoint on the animals?
The state has not been called in from our standpoint, no.
Why would you clarify the point about whether they had a permit to have those animals?
Yes, I will. So they did not have a permit for the poultry or for the pig. And we are currently in the process of determining if they had city license, registration, vaccinations on all of the other animals.
Can you give us a breakdown of what the animals were, like 20 dogs?
I can,
Quail, pig?
sure. And this is approximate numbers, okay, but I'm really close here. 5 dogs, 19 cats, 5 turtles, 46 forms, various types of poultry, 1 pig, and 3 rabbits.
Now, one last thing that I want to emphasize is that all individuals accused of a crime are innocent until they're proven guilty. No matter how heinous the allegation may be, everybody gets their day in court. They get due process. They get their constitutional rights protected. And these individuals will have those same protections afforded to them. If and when the prosecutors decide to file charges, I believe they already have, but if and when this case comes to court, that will be for a jury to decide on the outcome of this case. We don't want anybody in the public to think that it's up to them to get into any acts of vigilantism or take matters into their own hands. Let the system do its work. Thank
And
you.
the last thing I would like to ask is if anybody has any more information about this, do they contact you guys directly?
Correct. They can call us 417-623-3131 for anyone who has any more information about this case. Tell the person that answers the phone that they would like to provide information about this specific case, and we will put them in contact with the correct detective. Again, thank you guys for coming out today. We want to make sure that everybody is aware of this situation. We want to be as transparent as possible and keep the public informed about things of interest to the public. Did you have one more thing?
Do you have any, I mean, what-
Yeah, 610 East Pool Street,
Oh.
610 East Pool, Pool.
Sorry,
Okay,
missed it.
that's fine. All right, thank you guys.
I want to thank everybody for coming out today. And again, this is still just like we've said, this is still an active, open investigation, and just like the chief said, anybody with any information regarding this case is very much encouraged to call the Joplin Police Department. Thank you for coming out today, and have a safe day.